Welcome back in. Fire Field Vision, powered by NovaCare, as the Chicago Fire come back home after their 1-0 win over Montreal. Awaiting for them, a 3 o'clock start. The New York Red Bulls waiting, and guys, New York also a team. At this point in time, everyone's trying to get playoff ready. The Fire had that big win. They're third right now. New York's coming in. You know, this is a big game for them also.
Absolutely, and I think also New York is starting to play some of their best soccer. I thought over the last 5 or 6, 7 weeks, early on there were some struggles. I felt like they were trying to figure out what system they wanted to play. The midfield was trying to figure itself out a little bit. But it's okay to kind of go through those bumps in the first half of the season. The confidence of the team has definitely changed in the last few weeks. But when I look at this New York team, I think the problems that I see with this team are the same things we've seen over the last couple years with the Red Bulls team. They have a system they like to play, and they don't budge from that system. And it doesn't matter whether they're on the road or at home. And we talked about this in an earlier segment, Frank.
Yeah.
In this league, it's very difficult to go on the road and play your system and not adjust, not change, or to have something happen in a game to go down a goal or go up a goal and not change. And when I look at this Red Bulls team, I think there are moments when they are very susceptible in transition on the counterattack because they like to push high in pressure. And if you can break out of that pressure with one pass, and Bastian Schweinsteiger and Dax McCarty are both very capable of making that pass, you can find space. And I think it's no coincidence that David Accam has found success against the Red Bulls in the past. I think it's no coincidence when I think back just 2 years ago when I was watching Orlando City play them, Carlos Rivas had a field day against the Red Bulls. It's because if you've got speed and you can get into open space, you can have an impact against the Red Bulls, and I think that's what this Fire team is going to have to look to do on Saturday.
Yeah, no, definitely, and we were talking about it. I was watching their last game against Dallas, and you know, you go to Dallas and you get a point, you're happy with it, right? But I mean, the way that it panned out, I mean, they were up 1-0. Dallas had a red card, and it's that risk that they keep taking. I think Pareja did a very smart move, moving Barrios on top with Urruti, and he brought a lot of pace. And they got caught twice in transition where it was 2v2 in the back. So the opportunity there against this team, you know they're going to press. You know they're going to press high. You have to be good with the ball. You got to be quick out of tight situation, especially in the middle. Anything in the middle, you got to be able to play quick and switch the point of attack. But there's definitely going to be opportunities on the break. You got to be good with the ball, and you got to make sure that you're ready to deal with this high pressing energy that they bring.
And Frank, we've talked about this before with this Red Bulls team, but it's not just that they press you when you're on the ball. They wait for the right moment, and then they try to close you down into the space and force the ball in one direction where they can win it in attack. You have to be able to play out of that pressure in a positive way. If you play backwards into more pressure, that's what their goal is. This team has to make sure, and guys like Basti and Dax especially, have to make sure that when they're getting pressured, they're looking for that guy that's checking back on a higher position that breaks that press completely and allows you to get out into space.
Yeah, no, they try to force you. I agree with you, Paul. You know, anytime the ball goes out on the side, in either side, I mean, then they close you down. They overload the side of the ball, and they try to win the ball in situations like that. If you're able to break out of that and switch the point of attack, you're going to find space. But then immediately, once they lose it, because of the high back line, they're very compact together and have the ability now to really press in numbers. You know, they try to do it. But the negative thing with that, as the game goes on, and this is where we talk with Paul, your ability to change. You know, I mean, as the game wears on, if one guy misses, doesn't do it right, and you break through that, and then there's spaces to attack in depth, which that's what happened in the last game. This is where this Fire team has had success with them in the past, and I think it's going to be the same situation come this Saturday.
Well, and the last 2 home games have not been good. I mean, the Chicago Fire were unbeaten at home, and then they lose to TFC and also to Montreal. They need to establish home field dominance again as the playoffs get closer.
Well, I think also they have to be cleaner on the ball. We saw some mistakes that were atypical of this team where they just weren't making clean passes on the ball. Their touches were off. The decision-making was too slow. Against this Red Bulls team, if you do that, if you have a poor touch under pressure or you make the wrong decision and try to play a ball that doesn't have the right pace on it in the middle of the park, they're going to pounce. And they've got players capable in transition of beating you 1v1, 1v2. Bradley Wright-Phillips, he's so smart with the runs he makes into space. We saw the combination play on their goal against Dallas with Sasha Kljestan, a brilliant individual effort and a fantastic goal. You have to be clean And I think at home, the last few games, especially that Minnesota game, there were moments where you're saying, what's the decision here? What are you thinking? And we didn't really have a lot of that in the first half of the season. So that's an area where they're just going to have to be cleaner. And it's not a tactical fix.
Right.
You know, it's a mental sharpness.
Yep, I agree.
The other thing, too, you look at it, and we're not so sure about the injuries. We're in the middle of the week. We're Wednesday. Still a couple days until Saturday. We saw Basti go out of the game. Duty went out of the game the other day. Now, Polster came back, and we had Brandon Vincent's ready to come back. So those are two big guys they have on each side. But we're not sure about Schweinsteiger. It's a wait and see.
It's a far different team when you have Vincent and Polster, because a lot of the system is built around getting those fullbacks forward and into the attack. But Schweinsteiger has been such an impactful player this season.
No, definitely. For me, again, you look at the last game, for me, he's a difference maker. But also, it's good to get a guy like Dax back. Juninho had a solid game, but I think the one guy that you need to get healthy, because I think he can have an impact in his game, is David Akam with his pace, the way they play. I think he can definitely be an X factor and a guy that can make a difference in a match like this.
And I think when Schweinsteiger early in the season, he was jumping up and helping up on the offense. I think we've seen a lot of that in the last 3 games, including the goal that he scored against Montreal.